Hey, you're listening to the Fatboy Show on RX Radio. Hoping you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We're so glad that you could join us here today so that we can start this brand new week together. And wow, it's already the 28th of November. The days are going by so fast. It's going to be December in no time. Am I excited for December?
Absolutely. It's the first time I'm feeling so good and special about this Christmas. I don't know what's going to happen for me, but I feel so great.
I know you're in anticipation of good things, aren't you?
I swear to God.
Blessings, presents, gifts.
I can't deny the feeling, but I never used to be a Christmas person. But right now, I feel like there is something on the horizon for me.
Wow, what could that be?
I really have no idea.
Love,
but
money.
I feel it. I just feel it. I don't know what it is. I just feel it.
You're feeling it.
I feel it coming. You know that song?
The Weekend.
I heard you. You can just sample us because I heard you singing at the start.
Well, I'm glad you're optimistic. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a rough year for a lot of people. And if you're feeling positive as it approaches its end, I think that's a good thing. And I kind of share in your sentiments. I kind of feel good too. I feel like the year has some very interesting surprises in store for us. So fingers crossed, eh?
I think it's just something for the Geminis out there. Something
You are
good
a
is coming.
Gemini also.
I am a Gemini, and I know that there is something good coming for all of us. I just
For
feel it.
we the Geminis
We
only.
the Geminis only.
Hey, what about
Oh,
other
God.
people? Come on. Are we going to hoard all the blessings? It's just for us?
I'm feeling
Don't be
so
selfish
sad
now.
about the listeners. No, you guys, I'm kidding.
Well,
All
speaking
you.
of blessings, a lot of people in public service made money during COVID-19. This according to the Auditor General's report. A section of civil society organizations have condemned the actions of individuals and groups that have been named in the COVID-19 Auditor General's report. Now, according to this classified report that was handed over to the Speaker of Parliament last week, a lot of money that was meant to fight the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019 and 2020 and also 2020-2021 was either wasted or misappropriated by the Health Ministry. Now, you'll recall that we had a shortage of almost everything. There was no oxygen, there were no doctors. And as people were dying and businesses struggled to stay alive, the Ministry of Health officials, some of them anyway, were splurging on all of this money and wasted a lot of the money that was given to them to fight this pandemic. And this is what's being revealed in this special Auditor General's report. Now, they found some irregularities, including several contracts that were given to firms that were owned by the same people, and then expenditure on services that were not used, and taxpayers' money being spent, in excess of what was allocated. So basically, the whole thing was mismanaged, and the Auditor General's report lays all of this out. Now, this being Uganda, these reports can be published till kingdom come, but if nothing comes of it, if no heads roll, then it's ultimately pointless. What do you think? Do you think there'll be a difference this time?
No, I feel like guys in the corruption scandals in Uganda are now used to being exposed, and it's none of their business.
And nothing happens, right?
Yeah.
They already made their money now. And this is why some people think there's been no lockdown for Ebola, is because when it came to COVID, the government was given the money to handle these programs, whereas with Ebola, it's mostly been channeled through NGOs.
Yeah.
And a lot of the grants that were being given to the government were conditional on the enactment of policies such as lockdowns, right?
Yeah.
But without without there being any grants, without being any conditions being laid out for grants, which were directed to the NGOs. Anyway, I guess the government realized, well, what's the point of a lockdown? It doesn't help us. So there you go. I remember feeling bitter the entire time of the lockdown because we could all see what this was all about. We could see the cars that were being driven by these technocrats and these bureaucrats, the money that they were being given in these advisory roles and in all these meetings and all of that stuff. And remember, during lockdown, they were the ones that were allowed to drive. You couldn't drive. I couldn't drive. If we wanted to go shopping, if we wanted to visit family, but these guys got passes that allowed them to enjoy the empty streets. They were like the bourgeoisie. It was annoying.
I wonder why, up to now, I've never understood why when there's a lockdown, cars were bought. like of all things you could buy on this planet,
Because there
they
was
were buying
a lot
cars.
of money.
That was so sickening to watch on TV, you're home and they are buying, pickup trucks and lining them up at Kololo and celebrating, like we're handing this one over to here, this one over to, I just couldn't believe my eyes. Like people were hungry, people were dying, they were getting a quarter the portion slated for them.
Yeah.
So I just have never forgiven these guys.
Well, look, everyone's feeling bitter about this, and unless they do something different this time and hold certain people accountable, then I guess this bitterness is just going to grow. Now, we have a political opposition who are supposed to be the ones, the checks and balances. They're the ones supposed to hold these people's feet to the fire and hold these parliamentary sessions. I don't know if there may be a special committee convened, like they did with Uganda Airlines. I don't know if they'll do something for COVID too, the COVID funds.
Doesn't Kosase always call them and assemble these people and ask them about almost everything? But then I'm wondering why after Kosase sits and then tables all of this before media, it just disappears in thin air.
Yeah, like for example, the Uganda Airlines report came out, but
I've got no idea what happened after that. I literally, I'm beginning to feel like at this stage, if someone is so corrupt, they might as well just hire some media agencies and some media people in particular who are more vocal and like outspoken to go and lie. And so I feel like the media actually plays a role in this corruption, in the corruption scandals in this country.
And I think that's unfortunate because, business in Uganda is basically very much tied to government expenditure. And so if you're, for example, in media, you kind of have to ingratiate yourself to the elites and the powers that be in order to be granted access to some of these opportunities like the advertising and things like that. So we can be very easily compromised. When, especially with the Uganda Airlines, when we saw that certain bloggers were being given was it 100 million? A lot of money to write articles favoring the management of Uganda Airlines. I mean, what's he supposed to do? He probably has to pay rent and pay workers, right? So if his job is to make the Uganda Airlines look good, I don't know that I could blame him specifically.
And I actually think that, after crippling the economy, this is the go-to place. They know that if the economy is crippled and media people are no different. So get them money and they will run a different story. And so it's two stories running at the same time. It's like how you want to counter, like bad PR. You run good PR. There's the bad PR running. So it's like we are confused.
That's what's funny. That's what's funny about Uganda is that the worse, like the more horribly the economy is going, the more wonderful articles are written about the country and about the government.
Now you know, because it's like they just come and be like, you know what, you need to write this on your blog. You need to write this on your blog. You listen once, twice, and you're like, you know what, conscience, you throw it to the wind and you just go and write, I feel like it actually works. Just cripple someone and then force them to do what you want and they will do it.
It sucks, man.
Yes.
But anyway, earlier we were mentioning how we had positive vibes regarding what the month of December might bring for us.
Yeah.
Let's hope that December shall bring us a vastly improved economy so that we don't have to deal with corruption.
I feel like the economy changes for every individual in their pockets. You could pray for that and then I'd be like, for me I never felt the lockdown, like I was feeling so good. And we were like, we couldn't have supper, we're only taking lunch,
So only certain people are suffering and others are thriving.
Yes, I had this thing of where the world will never end as opposed to what Christianity says. What happens is that the world ends for you. You alone, you die. So you
does, doesn't it?
The world has ended. It has ended with you. So this economy is only in people's pocket.
Well, speaking of the world ending
sucks.
for some people, I was seeing on Twitter some people talking about a very famous businessman who apparently his properties are being auctioned. Not too long ago there was the issue of the Bitature empire also.
Yeah.
So it just seems like many of the big players in this economy, in the private sector, are really struggling. And if people at that level are struggling, what about the man and woman on the street? It's crazy.
But
these are crazy times.
There are times I feel like the private sector has been taken over, by government, overrun by government. Like guys in the private sector are also forced and pulled into this whole irritating politics of every minute. I feel like we have elections every other week and private sector guys have to show a side. You like it or not, you are a politician the moment that you own anything in this country. If you don't, something is going to happen to you.
I ain't a politician.
Yeah.
Am I?
I think you're a politician. politician.
Wait.
I think you're a politician.
There's a little bit of politics going.
No,
The way I smile and hobnob and try and rub shoulders with, important people.
I know, but it's kind of different. This is you being active, and you're a media person. You love to chat with people, to talk with them, and to talk to your listeners. That's quite different. You have to decide. But there is a quiet businessman in the private sector, for example, real estate. They're asking him, which side do you choose? Are you Noop? What are you? And if you have no answer, something is going to happen to your houses. Something, your apartments.
Well, the end result is that the media will play the tune of whichever political faction is willing to.
You just really have to be involved somehow.
Grease the gears.
You cannot say we are private sector. We we are partnering with these people. No, you're not. You're in this category. All of us are in it, one way or another.
We're a corrupt nation.
No, they just force you to be in there. Like, you just can't stand there and say, I'm Beta Ture, I'm minding my business and just being, just doing me.
Wow.
Just ask you, what are you doing?
Well, 2023, please treat us better. We beg.
I know.
We beg. Be good to us. Be kind to us, 2023.
You're already crying for it. No, I think we shall be fine. I think we shall be fine.
All right. All right. Fingers crossed. Let's hope so.